Hello, lovely friends, and welcome back to Living Diaries. Today, I'm inviting you on a charming escape right into the heart of a vintage Paris-inspired apartment. If you adore soft elegance, timeless decor, and the warm nostalgia of French living, you're in for a treat. We'll take this tour room by room, detail by detail, sharing ideas you can bring into your own space, no matter where you are. So, pour yourself a cup of tea, sit back, and let's step into this Parisian dream together. One, elegant French antiques. One of the most enchanting elements of a vintage Paris apartment is the presence of beautifully aged French antiques. Think carved armoires, velvet-upholstered Bergère chairs, and weathered wooden side tables. These pieces tell stories of time gone by, adding soul and authenticity to any space. Incorporating even just one or two antique elements can completely transform a room. When styled alongside more modern items, they create a layered, collected look that's both personal and elevated. From flea market treasures to heirloom pieces, French antiques are timeless anchors. Two, soft pastel color palette. The soft, romantic hues often seen in Parisian apartments create a calm and soothing environment. Pastels like blush pink, powder blue, creamy ivory, and soft dove gray offer the perfect backdrop for vintage decor without overwhelming the senses. These gentle colors flow seamlessly from one room to the next, offering harmony and tranquility. Whether on walls, upholstery, or small accents, this palette evokes the softness of a watercolor painting, subtle, feminine, and oh so Parisian. Three, ornate wall moldings and panels. Nothing says Paris apartment quite like ornate wall moldings and paneling. These architectural details add depth and refinement to the simplest of spaces, recalling the elegance of old houseman buildings. Even in modern homes, faux molding or painted trim can recreate the effect. When paired with pastel walls and antique furnishings, it becomes a symphony of classic design, helping every room feel both curated and cozy. Four, crystal chandeliers and vintage lighting. Lighting is everything in a Paris-inspired space. A crystal chandelier suspended above a dining table or bedroom adds instant glamour and nostalgia. It dances light across the room, reflecting in mirrors and glassware for a romantic glow. Mixing in vintage sconces or delicate table lamps with soft, warm bulbs gives each corner its own ambience. The light isn't just functional, it's poetic, shaping the atmosphere and setting the mood for everyday elegance. Five, Parisian café-style kitchen nook. Imagine starting your morning in a cozy cafe right in your own home. A small marble-top bistro table, bentwood chairs, and a simple bouquet of flowers bring the Paris cafe vibe to life in your kitchen corner. This space doesn't need much, just intention. A charming tablecloth, a steaming café au lait, and perhaps some Edith Piaf in the background. Suddenly, you're transported to a quiet street in Montmartre without leaving home. Six, Decorative fireplace mantle. Even if you don't have a working fireplace, a decorative mantle can serve as a stunning focal point. In true Parisian style, adorn it with an antique mirror, vintage candlesticks, and art leaned casually against the wall. It's the perfect opportunity to create a rotating display of seasonal decor or cherished keepsakes. The mantle becomes a moment of storytelling, romantic, warm, and layered with personal charm. Seven, gold-framed mirrors and artwork. A gilded mirror is more than just functional, it's pure Parisian poetry. Hanging an oversized, gold-framed mirror over a console or mantle makes a grand statement, opening up the room with its reflective magic. Pair it with vintage oil paintings or black and white portraits in mismatched gold frames. This gallery-style approach brings elegance and character, making your walls feel like they belong in a French salon. 8. Classic toile and floral fabrics. Toile de joie and delicate floral patterns are staples in French country and Parisian interiors alike. They evoke pastoral charm and quiet sophistication, especially when used on cushions, drapery, or bedding. Layering these prints with neutral linens or soft velvet brings a tactile richness to the space. It's a visual love letter to the countryside, graceful, lived in, and eternally beautiful. Nine. Vintage books and Parisian memorabilia. Books with worn spines and yellowed pages instantly add warmth to a room. Stack them on coffee tables, tuck them into shelves, or display them beside Parisian memorabilia like postcards, perfume bottles, or an Eiffel Tower miniature. These pieces are not just decorative, they're windows into another time. They reflect your passions and travels, and in a Paris-inspired home, they ground the fantasy in something personal and real. Lace and linen textures. Texture plays a quiet but powerful role in vintage styling. Lace-trimmed tablecloths, embroidered linen pillowcases, and sheer drapes swaying in the breeze, these are the small details that create softness and nostalgia. Mixing these textiles with antique woods and metals enhances the romance. It's an invitation to slow down, to touch, to feel the history woven into every thread. Elegant vanity or dressing area. A classic vanity setup brings back the golden era of beauty routines. With an ornate mirror, a tufted stool, and crystal perfume trays, it's not just a space, it's a ritual. This little corner becomes your personal retreat. Light a candle, place fresh flowers nearby, and enjoy the simple pleasure of getting ready surrounded by beauty. 12. Classic herringbone flooring or rug patterns. Wooden herringbone floors are a hallmark of Paris apartments. If real wood isn't an option, you can still recreate the look with patterned rugs or vinyl tiles that mimic the effect. These patterns draw the eye and add architectural interest without overwhelming the room. It's another subtle nod to that timeless elegance we're weaving throughout the space. (13) Balcony garden with iron railings. Parisian balconies are small but full of life. A bistro table, a few potted plants, especially lavender, rosemary, or climbing roses, create an oasis above the city. If you don't have a balcony, you can still bring this feeling to a windowsill or porch. The key is charm, simplicity, and greenery that feels loved and tended to. (14) Gallery wall with black and white Paris photography. Black and white photos of Parisian streets, cafes, or vintage fashion create a strong visual narrative. Arrange them in elegant gold or black frames for a chic, collected look. This wall becomes your personal homage to the city you love. With every glance, you're reminded of the cobbled streets and quiet mornings by the Seine. (15) Scented atmosphere, candles and diffusers. Finally, let's talk about scent. Lavender, rose, sandalwood, and vanilla can all evoke the quiet luxury of a Paris home. Candles in vintage holders or elegant glass diffusers complete the sensory experience. Scent is deeply tied to memory. Lighting a candle at the end of the day creates ritual and serenity. It's the final touch in making your home not just look beautiful, but feel like a Parisian escape. Conclusion. Thank you so much for joining me on this Parisian apartment journey. I hope you feel inspired to bring a little vintage French magic into your own home. Whether it's with a mirror, a pastel wall, or just a sweet scented candle, remember elegance is in the details. If you enjoyed this tour, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who loves timeless design. Until next time, bientôt, and keep living beautifully.